Hello there. Once again, it's Anton from Anton Obey. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm taking a look at some comics, and we're going to wrap up our Prime series. I have been on this series for a while, and I took a big break from it, and finally getting back to it, and finally going to close out that series with issues 24, 25, and 26. 26 being the last issue of Prime under the Malibu heading. It was published for about 13 issues in, under Marvel. It didn't really last long. They tried some other crazy stuff. They mixed him up with Spider-Man. They did a bunch of weird stuff, but Marvel did try to do something with him. But this is the end of course, the Malibu Comics Ultraverse whole deal. They've already been bought by Marvel at this point. So you will see some Marvel ads in here. And this particular issue is relatively new to me. I had like the whole run of Prime except for one issue. And it was this issue, and I didn't realize this issue. And Prime reveals to his parents that he is Prime. Young Kevin Green introduces that he is in fact the big beefcake man. So that's pretty interesting. His father is very supportive. It's kind of interesting. He's like, I knew you were Prime all along. And if I remember right, his parents are divorced, so there is some awkwardness there. But art and color is decent. Color is always pretty decent with Malibu Comics. This one, the art is actually holding its own. Some are better than others. Prime never had my favorite artist, but pretty decent stuff. And of course, by this time they had also moved from paper pages to newsprint pages to this glossier type of page. But yeah, Species came out that year as well. So yeah, this would have been $250 in, what is this, 97, 95. Yeah, end of an era there. I also never understood the origin of Prime, part 2 of 6, 3 of 6. We don't really get to see where the other ones are, and I think they take place in, I don't know where they take place. I know I've seen them somewhere else. I don't know if it was in Power of Prime or in somewhat of the Ultraverse or Ultra Force stuff. Mortal Kombat, the movie. Man, this was like advertising all the stuff back then. Of course, his parents are fighting, and we shift pretty heavily from Ultra saving the world to basically his domestic problems, family and whatnot, and public viewing of him and their perception of him, which is pretty cool shift in tone from the book. Ultra Woman. I wondered where she came from. She is definitely a Marvel character. I have a couple of her Marvel comics. Turbocharge, that annoying turd who wants to be his sidekick. At least by this point, he's stopped hitting on Chelsea Clinton. He's just got a little bitty squad around him, which does help. This thing again. Power of Prime on sale in July. It was an interesting mini-series. Spider-Man. Another Species ad. Yeah, and like I said, these last few issues of Prime were really hard to get your hands on, honestly. Even in back issues, I had troubles tracking these down. These were harder to find. Early issues of Prime, early Malibu stuff, and Ultraverse. The first 7 issues are always pretty easy to locate, and you'll see those in bins everywhere. But the later issues from a lot of the series was ran like 23 to 26 issues. Finding anything past issue 20 is going to be a challenge, and these were a challenge. as far as just looking in local comic book stores, you'll probably never see them there. If you do, you've got a better shop than mine. Most of them I've ever been to around here, they don't even have Ultraverse comics. And so yeah, if you're finding these, you're probably on eBay, you're probably digging around, you're probably having to pay a little more than you want to for them, for what's essentially, you know, like a $1 book. There's nothing groundbreaking or super amazing about them, but it is sad to me because it's the end of an era. It's the end of Malibu Comics Ultraverse, which was, in my opinion, one of my favorite. Well, it was my first real exposure to non-Marvel, DC, non-DC superheroes done in an interesting way that I really liked. And the fact that the whole universe came collapsing down and it was just cut into a 2-year chunk was both sad, but also was intriguing to me because it meant that I could own it all. I could contain it, where, you know, there's no hope when I was 15 or whatever to contain and own all of the Marvel comics. No, I'm not going to own all the Avengers. I can never get all the X-Men, but I could get all issues of Prime. And even if it was a trick tracking them down, they weren't going to cost me much when I found them. So that is one thing. They were attainable. They were kind of, I don't know, the wallflower, the one nobody wanted to ask out. And they were really quite great. And that's why that's why I still collect them to this day. If there were any more to collect, I'm pretty sure I've got every Malibu comic Ultraverse that there is. I know they're not valuable, but they are a value to me, and I appreciate them. So that is the end of the Prime series. I do have a second Prime's Volume 2, which if I haven't run through already, I probably will. But I wanted to thank you guys for sticking it out and getting through all 26 issues of Prime. And remember to enjoy collecting. Buy the comics you enjoy and like, and don't buy just for value or whatever like that. I mean, that's a silly reason to collect. Really, just buy what you enjoy. And I enjoyed these cheesy Ultraverse titles that apparently nobody else was into. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That's my story. I will catch you guys later. Bye.